Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss about diabetes. What is diabetes? Diabetes is characterized by a group of conditions refers high level of glucose in the blood. Too much blood sugar can cause serious and sometimes life-threatening health problems. The types of diabetes. There are two types of chronic diabetes, type 1 and type 2. The pregnant woman can experience an acute form of diabetes called gestational diabetes, and normally it gets cures after the childbirth. What is type 1 diabetes? Normally during the food digestions, the carbohydrates break down to glucose and carried by the bloodstream to various organs of our body. Insulin is a hormone produced by the beta cell of pancreas, and it's necessary for glucose intake by the target cell. The insulin binds to its receptor on the target cell and induce glucose intake. So this is the target cell, and this is the insulin receptor. The insulin bind to its receptor, and the glucose transporter channels get opened, and the glucose from the bloodstream enter inside the target cell and break down to produce energy. In type 1 diabetes, the beta cell are engulfed by the human immune system by mistake. The exact reason of the same is not known, but the genetic factor plays a major role on this. So if the insulin is less, then the less insulin binds to its receptor on the target cell, less glucose transporter channel open, and less glucose is taken into the cell, and more glucose stay in the bloodstream, which cause the hyperglycemia, which is the hallmark of diabetes. So the type 1 diabetes is insulin dependent. In type 2 diabetes, the pancreas produces enough insulin, but something goes wrong with the insulin receptor or the signaling of the target cell, and target cell become less responsive to insulin, which hamper glucose import inside the cell. Okay, if the receptor is not responding, if the receptor and the signaling, there is no proper signaling, and less number of insulin binds with the insulin receptor of the target cell, then naturally the glucose, less number of glucose transporter channel open, and less glucose enter inside the target cell, and it's remain in the bloodstream, which also cause the hyperglycemia. Okay, so the type 2 diabetes is insulin resistant. Okay, type 1 diabetes was insulin dependent, and type 2 diabetes are insulin resistant. The gestational diabetes. During pregnancy, an organ called placenta gives a growing baby nutrients and oxygen from the maternal body. The placenta also makes some hormones. During pregnancy, the hormones called estrogen, cortisol, and human placental lactogen can block insulin. So if the insulin is blocked, then the less number of insulin bind to its receptor, and the same situation happen, which cause the hyperglycemia. Okay. So in the next video, to understand more about the diabetes and how it is to be controlled, what is the mechanism, we will understand the glycolysis, the glucose transportation, the insulin receptor and its signaling. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for your patience.